welcome to Woven Kids this morning. We are so happy to see you. This is your service, kids. We are really, really happy to have you here. My name is Nicole.
And I'm Emma.
And it's so great to have you, particularly if you're from St. Martha's, who's a new member of our family, or St. Leo's or St. Aidan's. We're so excited to have you. And hello to all the regulars from St. John's and St. Margaret's too. Now, this is going to be our new normal over the next few weeks. So we're going to have these wonderful morning services just for you, and you should have had a craft pack delivered to you earlier this week, and we're going to use those later, so keep hold of them, and we will use them towards the end of the service.
Brilliant, and today we are learning about faith. Now, faith means trusting in God. So I wonder what you think it means to trust in God. Why don't you turn to someone in your household and ask them that question? What do you think it means to trust in God?
What do you think it means to trust in God, Emma?
I think trusting in God is believing that He has the best for me, even when things feel really difficult.
That's a really good answer. I wonder how your answers might change by the time we finish the end of the service, when we hear our stories. Now, we are starting all through history, and if you've been at St. Margaret's, you've started it a little bit already, and we are looking at different characters through the Bible and how their stories all point towards Jesus and towards how God is so faithful in our lives. Now, we're going to learn a new song, which is going to be our theme song for this term, which is called All Through History as well, which fits very nicely, I think. And it is a song that explains how there are characters in the Bible who trusted in God. They had that faith. And I'm going to teach you some of the actions, and then we're going to do it all together. So jump on your feet if you can. Give yourselves a little stretch. Or if you've just woken up, it's probably really good for you. But if you've been awake for hours, like Emma, she's a morning person, then you may need an extra second wave to do some dancing. So, the first character in this song is Noah. And Noah built a big boat called an ark. So Noah built the most enormous boat that kept the birds and animals afloat, so doing a bit of wobbling. And the Lord was good. Show him good. The Lord was strong, and Noah lived his life for him. And then we've got Moses, and Moses led his people through the sea, and he stopped them from being slaves, freed them from slavery. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Moses lived his life for him. Now, we want to say thank you to God for being faithful. So the chorus goes like this. It goes, oh, thank you, oh, thank you. They're all through history, so you get your palm out and you do a little walk through history, that you are faithful. And you go back to thank you, oh, thank you, that you are just the same when it comes to me, because God is faithful to us too. And there are various characters through the rest of the song. So just follow us with the actions. The words will be on the screen too. So when you're ready, we are going to start with our song.
Noah built the most enormous boat that kept the birds and animals afloat. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Noah lived his life for him. Moses led his people through the sea, taking them away from slavery. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Moses lived his life for him. Oh, thank you, that all through history you were faithful. Thank you, oh, thank you, that you are just the same when it comes to me. When it comes to me. Goliath and he won. A humble shepherd boy became a king. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and David lived his life for him. Daniel was inside a lion's den. God brought him to safety once again. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Daniel lived his life for him. Oh, thank you, that all through history you were faithful. Thank you, that you are just the same when it comes to me. When it comes to me. Jesus died to take away our sin, so we could get to know our God again. The Lord is good, the Lord is strong, and we will live our lives for Him. Oh, thank you, all through history you were faithful. Thank you, you are just the same when it comes to me. Thank you, that all through history you were faithful. Thank you, that you are just the same when it comes to me. When it comes to me. When it comes to me. When it comes to me.
Did you manage to keep up with all the actions? Well done if you did, but don't worry if you didn't, because we're going to be learning that song every single week, so you'll be experts very soon. So, right now we're going to learn a memory verse, and today's memory verse comes from a book in the Bible called Romans, and it's chapter 8, verses 28. And I'm going to help us put some actions to it so that we can remember it. But first of all, it says, God uses all things for the good of those who love him. So let's put some actions to that, shall we? So God uses all things for the good of those. We're going to point to each other, point to those in your household. For the good of those who love, make a heart with your fingers, who love him. Point back to God. Great job. We'll do that one more time so that it's etched in your brains, okay? So, God uses all things for the good of those who love him. Romans 8, chapter 28. Brilliant. If you can remember that for next week, that would be wonderful. And if you can make some videos at home of you doing the actions and send them in to us, that would be awesome as well.
So we've learned our memory verse, we've learned our new song. Now it's time for our story. So sit on your bottoms, give it a little wiggle, get comfy. And to start off our story, we are going to watch a video. And this video is going to be part one of learning about Joseph. So when you're ready, we're going to watch the video.
The Faithful Hall of Fame, Joseph. So this is Joseph. Hey! You see, Joseph was the son of Israel and Rachel. Israel loved Joseph more than all 12 of his sons. In fact, he made Joseph a coat to show him how much he loved him. When Joseph's brothers saw this, they hated Joseph. One night, Joseph had a dream. When he awoke, Joseph told the dream to his brothers. He said, "Listen to this dream I had. We were gathering grain when suddenly my bundle of grain rose up and all of you bowed to me. This made his brothers hate Joseph even more, and they said, "You're gonna rule over us?" Then Joseph had another dream, and he told it to his brothers and his father. He said, "Listen, I had another dream, and this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." This time Israel heard the dream and rebuked Joseph, saying, "Will your mother and brothers and I actually come and bow down before you?" The brothers were even more angry when they heard the second dream. Israel, however, decided to think about what Joseph was saying. One day, Joseph's brothers were working when they saw Joseph coming to meet them. One of his brothers mocked him and said, "Here comes the dreamer. Come on now, let's kill him and throw him away to be devoured by a ferocious animal. Then we'll see what comes of his dreams." One of the brothers named Reuben wanted to rescue Joseph, so he said, "Let us not take his life. Instead, throw him in the pit."
Yeah.
So when Joseph came to his brothers, they attacked him. They took the robe their father had given Joseph. They hoisted Joseph up and threw him into the well. Then they saw a group of men from Midian coming towards them. Judah thought it would be a good idea to sell Joseph to these men. So the brothers sold Joseph to the merchants for 20 shekels. The brothers then took the coat of many colors back to their father and made him believe that Joseph had been killed. Israel wept for his son whom he loved. Meanwhile, Joseph was taken as a slave to Egypt to work in the house of a man named Potiphar, for Joseph's story was only just beginning.
Okay, amazing. So that was the first part of Joseph's story, and he was taken off, wasn't he? Sold to slavery to be a slave for a guy called Potiphar. Now, Potiphar had a wife, and she was mean and cruel, and she told lots of lies. So Joseph got thrown into prison, and there he sat, really sad. But he wasn't alone. He had some people there. And one of the people there had a very, very strange dream. And so he asked Joseph, "I wonder what this dream means." And Joseph, he thought, he listened, and God also listened. And God whispered in his ear, "This is what the dream means." So Joseph relayed the meaning of the dream to this guy, and it came true. Now, 2 years later, so Joseph's been sitting in prison for 2 whole years. Oh my goodness, he must have been so tired, so bored.
Time.
And do you remember, God had promised him that he'd be a ruler, but here he is sitting in prison. 2 years later, the Pharaoh, who was the king of Egypt, he came to Joseph and he said, "I hear you know how to interpret dreams." And so he told Joseph all about this funny dream he had with cows. And there were 7 skinny cows and 7 fat cows. And the skinny cows came and ate all the fat cows. Now Joseph listened, and he listened, and God listened, and God whispered to Joseph that this dream would be about Egypt and how Egypt would have lots and lots of food for 7 years and then no food for 7 years. And so Joseph told this to the Pharaoh. And Joseph said, "How about we save lots of food ready for all the years that we don't have any?" And Pharaoh said, "Amazing, what a great idea." And God had told Joseph exactly what was going to happen. And it did happen. So the Pharaoh gave Joseph a very special role.
Yes, he did. One day, there was a knock at Joseph's door, and when he answered it, his 11 brothers were standing there. They bowed down before him, they kissed his feet, and they begged, "Kind sir, we have come to Egypt all the way from the land of Canaan, and we have no food. We are starving. May we please buy some from you?" Joseph said nothing. He just stared at his brothers. He knew who they were, but they did not recognize him. "All right," said Joseph in his sternest voice. "I will sell you food." And he ordered his servants to load his brother's animals. But that wasn't all he told them to do. "Take one of my silver cups," he said, "and hide it in the sack of food tied to the youngest lad's donkey." Joseph had a plan. He wanted to see if his brothers had changed. And when Joseph's brothers reached the edge of the city, his servants stopped them. "Stop!" and searched through their sacks. And what did they find? The silver cup, of course. "We don't know how it got there," the brothers exclaimed to Joseph. "Your brother stole it, that's how," Joseph answered. "So he must stay here in Egypt with me and be my slave." "No, please," begged the brothers. "That would break our father's heart. Keep one of us instead." And when Joseph heard that, he knew his brothers had changed. So he told them who he was right then and there. "I'm Joseph," he announced, "your long-lost brother." This news did not make the brothers feel any better. They were so frightened. In fact, they could hardly speak. "Don't be afraid," said Joseph. "I forgive you. You meant to hurt me, but God used what you did to save us all from this terrible famine. Now go, fetch my father and the rest of our family to come and live in Egypt with me." The brothers looked up. The brothers grinned. The brothers cheered. And after a lot of hugging and helloing and handshaking, they set off for Canaan to tell Jacob, his father, the good news.
Amazing! That was so great because we saw how God kept his promises.
Definitely. Why don't you think about this question? How did Joseph keep his faith? How did Joseph keep his trust in God, even through all the difficult times that he had in his life?
Been sitting down, well, you've been sitting down for a very, very long time. So well done, great listening. And we think we should play a little game now. So jump on your feet again, do some jumping. Now, do you remember what Joseph was wearing when his brothers threw him into the well? Do you remember that in the video? What he was given by his dad? Give you a little clue.
Was it a bright red cardigan?
It wasn't a bright red cardigan, but I think he'd be very stylish if it was. It was a very colourful coat.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I think you might have some colourful clothes lying around your house somewhere. And we're going to give you 1 minute to go and collect as many colourful clothes as you can and try and wear them. Okay, and Emma's going to do the same. We've got some things hidden around. And she's going to try and collect as many different bits as possible to make her own wonderful, colourful outfit. And once you've got your outfits, why don't you take a picture and send it to us? And then we can see how amazing you guys look in your Joseph outfits. So we're going to have 1 minute from... You ready, Emma?
Ready.
Now. wearing Joseph's colourful clothes, and we would love to see them. Now's the time for you to get out your craft packs.
Woohoo!
So, we are going to do the craft, and Emma is going to show you what we've done. Well, we're not going to do it just yet.
So, in your craft packs, you will find a picture that looks like this. And this is Joseph. And Joseph comes with some coats. And we would love you to make his Technicolor coat. And in your packs, you will find a pair of scissors if you are aged 6 to 10. Or if you are aged 2 to 5, you'll find some pre-cut coats for your Joseph. You'll also find some tissue paper and a Pritt stick to help you make Joseph's coat as colourful as you can. We hope you have fun making your Josephs.
Yes, and you can make those crafts when the main service starts. So once your adults are watching the woven online services, you can do your craft, and then you can show your parents or your guardians just how wonderful those crafts are. Now, we are going to end in some prayer. So we have had some prayers sent in by a couple of children at St. Margaret's. So we've got Philip, Olivia, and TJ, who are reading some prayers for us that they have written themselves. So if you would like to get into a posture of prayer, so sometimes it helps to close your eyes so then you can listen to God and you're not distracted by things around you. And sometimes people open up their hands if they want to receive from the Holy Spirit. And it's just a symbol and a sign to show that we are ready to receive from God. So you may want to close your eyes and open your hands whilst we listen to these prayers.
Dear God, can you please protect this world from the virus and protect the people we know and love? Amen.
Dear God, we thank you for all of the frontline workers who are looking after our city and world right now. Please take care of them all. Amen.
We're special Lord, special word, special that you see. Each of us is special to God, and that's the way it should be. Amen.
And I'm going to finish with a prayer for all of us. So, Lord God, thank you so much that you are faithful. Thank you that we can trust in you and you keep your promises. Even when we're going through hard times, we know that you are doing things for our good. Help us this week to put our trust in you. Amen.
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 Brilliant. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a lovely week, guys. See you soon. Bye.